Here we can see some of the tools for modifying the sketches. In the sketching toolboxes, if we switch from draw to modify, we will see all of the tools available for modification of existing sketches. You can see the ones boxed at the top and the left, the top 5, fillet, chamfer through to extend, and there's some examples of these operations on the right hand side. So we start from the top with line 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we perform a fillet operation between 1 and 2, and we can see the round that's generated between lines 1 and 2. Then we select the second option, chamfer, between 2 and 3, and we can see the chamfer that's created on the top right corner of the screen, a 45-degree chamfer. We then take that sketch and move down and create a corner between lines 1 and line 4 with a corner tool, the third operation down. We can see what it's done is it's actually taken two intersecting edges and trimmed off the extending parts in order to create that corner. Then if we take that sketch and move and create an extend, we can extend the existing edge up to, in this case it's line 1, and extend it up to line 3. And then we can trim away the overhang from line 3 with the trim tool. And then that leaves us with an enclosed connected set of edges which we can use to build a surface body. So here's some more examples now using the next option down called split, and we have here a sketch with an edge that's marked in red here which continues the entirety of the width of this particular sketch. If we do the first default option, split edge at selection or at selected, we can simply left click on the edge and it will split it at that position. So here we're left with two red edges. We can split edges about the existing points. In this case we have the points which we identify to Design Modeler, and it can split the edge about the point that we select. We can also opt to split edges about all points, and Design Modeler will find all of the points that intersect with that particular edge and then split it up into its component edges. And we can also override the existing points and opt to split the edges into a number of equal segments. And it can be seen here we split it into 3, and this is defined up here with this option, split equal segments. The option that we choose can be simply accessed by using the right mouse button once we've selected split from the modify menu within the sketching toolbox. Here's the next option on drag. It allows us to take an existing sketch and drag a point out into a modified sketch, and so it can be used for scaling up or down the sketch, but of course it does have to conform with any existing constraints and dimensions that have been applied to that particular sketch, because if there were such constraints, then these would cause it to be invalid. So the example here is taking this simple rectangle and taking a point in the rectangle and dragging out to form this new modified sketch. And we can also select multiple entities in advance before we issue the drag function itself. We don't need to select them after we've selected the drag function. Another option moving further down is duplicate. So in this case a new sketch can be created by referencing the existing geometry. Here we have an original 3D solid body here, and we can select the face in order to create the plane. By selecting the face and creating the plane, we automatically create the plane from the face, and then we can select the edges to be duplicated, and we can select the edges from the existing body that lie on that plane, and from that create the new sketch. So essentially we are creating a new sketch from the entities on an existing body via the plane. So here we end up with a duplicate selection, and we ended up with our new sketch on the bottom right hand side.